This video is about something extremely important, something that decides which nations rise and which are left behind. Every year, people ask the same question: is America about to collapse? Some ask it with fear, some ask it with excitement. But almost everyone asking this question is ignoring one very basic truth. There is one factor in this world, a silent force, that decides which countries become powerful and which remain poor, which societies stay stable and which are trapped in chaos. Very few people truly understand this concept, even though it has been shaping human civilization for thousands of years. And no, it's not ideology, it's not intelligence, it's not even technology. The most important factor behind the rise and fall of nations is geography, the land beneath your feet. The rivers, mountains, plains, and oceans you didn't choose, but were born into. If you understand geography as the foundation of power, human history stops looking random. You begin to see patterns instead of coincidences. You start to understand why some civilizations pulled ahead early, while others struggled for centuries. History as a strategy game. To understand this, we need to go back in time. Imagine history as a strategy game. The land you start with determines your future. Humans originated in East Africa and slowly spread across the world. Over thousands of years, they settled in 6 key regions that later became the world's first great civilizations. These locations were not chosen by accident. They had fresh water, fertile land, natural protection, and mobility. Everything a society needed to survive. Those 6 regions were Mesopotamia, modern Iraq, the Nile River Valley in Egypt, the Indus Valley, India, and Pakistan, the Yellow River Basin in China, the North Chico region in Peru, the Olmec region in Mexico. These were the first places where cities formed, writing began, governments emerged, and populations exploded. Their success wasn't cultural superiority. It wasn't advanced intelligence. It was geography. Why geography matters for a civilization to survive long-term. It needs 4 things: fresh water, fertile land for food, natural defenses, easy transportation. Now look at ancient Egypt. The Nile River provided all 4. It flooded predictably every year, depositing fertile soil that fed millions. It functioned as a natural highway. Boats traveled north with the current and south with the wind. And the surrounding deserts acted as massive defensive walls. Egypt didn't build stability. Stability was given to Egypt. The pyramids were not a coincidence. They were the result of surplus food, security, and long-term planning. This geographic advantage allowed Egypt to remain one of the world's most stable civilizations for over 3,000 years. That is the power of geography. Population growth and global conflict. As centuries passed, the global population grew. Around year 01 AD, the world had about 200 million people. By 1500, it reached 500 million. By 1800, 1 billion. After that, growth exploded. More people meant more competition. Borders shifted. Empires clashed. Europe became a constant battlefield. China cycled through dynasties. Japan shifted between peace and war. Africa faced endless instability. Then, around 1900, everything changed. Technology changes the rules, but not geography. Railways, steamships, telegraphs, airplanes, machine guns, and finally, nuclear weapons. The world became interconnected. After World War II, expanding borders through direct conquest became too dangerous. Natural barriers like oceans and mountains became easier to cross by air. Borders stabilized. And in this new world order, the countries with the strongest geography began to dominate. No nation benefited more from this than the United States. Why America is geographically blessed. The United States sits on what is arguably the most valuable piece of land on Earth. This is not bias, it's geography. After the Ice Age, melting glaciers created deep natural harbors along North America's coasts, perfect for global trade. America's eastern coastline is filled with deep water ports: Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Charleston. But America's greatest treasure is not its coastline, it's what lies at the center: the Mississippi River system. The Mississippi River Basin is America's greatest strategic advantage. It contains some of the most fertile land on Earth, the world's largest network of navigable rivers. This means goods can be transported thousands of miles inland at incredibly low cost. The river system is wide, deep, calm, and naturally designed for transportation. Nature built America a free highway system. The Mississippi connects directly to the Gulf of Mexico, which connects to the Atlantic, allowing goods from the heart of America to reach the entire world. This is why the U.S. became an export powerhouse. And this advantage was supercharged in 1803. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803. The United States purchased the entire Mississippi Basin from France. The price? About $340 million in today's money. The value today? Over $60 trillion. One deal permanently altered America's destiny. With fertile land, perfect rivers, two massive oceans as shields, and endless ports, no other nation could compete on equal terms. Why other powers struggle? China looks powerful on a map, but its geography creates constant pressure. It relies heavily on maritime trade routes that pass through choke points it doesn't control, especially the Strait of Malacca. About 80% of China's oil flows through this narrow passage. A blockade could cripple its economy. That's why China is desperately building alternative routes through Pakistan, Myanmar, and Central Asia. Russia, despite its size, faces severe geographic challenges. Its western border is flat and exposed, historically vulnerable to invasion. Most of its ports freeze in winter. That's why Russia aggressively seeks warm water ports like Crimea and access through Syria. Britain dominated the world for centuries because it was an island with total access to the seas. But once air power emerged, the English Channel stopped being a reliable defense. Technology reduced Britain's geographic advantage, and America replaced it. Why Africa struggles, despite its wealth. Africa is rich in minerals, land, and resources. So why isn't it a superpower? Because geography works against it. Most African rivers drop sharply near the coast, forming waterfalls that block inland navigation. The Congo River is long, but not navigable from the interior to the sea. Africa's coastline is smooth, lacking natural harbors. Ports are expensive and difficult to build. Without easy transportation and trade, large-scale economic development becomes extremely difficult. The three questions that decide a nation's fate. Every country's future comes down to three questions. Can you feed your people? Can you defend your land? Can you trade with the world? If all three answers are yes, the country will rise. If even one answer is no, it will struggle. The United States is the only major power that answers yes to all three without hesitation. Final thought: geography does not control everything. Politics, culture, leadership, and technology matter. But geography sets the starting position. It determines how easy or how hard success will be. Mountains, rivers, oceans, and ports silently write the story of nations. And geography changes very slowly. That's why its advantages and disadvantages can last for centuries. The only thing that truly changes is how well leaders use what geography gives them. If you enjoyed this video, share it, subscribe, and stay curious.